Hello, future Broncos. My name is Leslie Webb, and I serve as the Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment Management at Boise State. I am delighted to be your host and moderator for tonight's event. We're so pleased that you're willing to spend a little of your evening with us to hear more about the adventure that awaits you at Boise State this fall semester. First, I'd like to invite our president to share some opening remarks. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Marlene Tromp.
Good evening, Broncos. I am so excited to welcome you to this exciting gathering, an event that focuses on you. And that's what I hope you'll take away from tonight's event, that Boise State University really is all about you, from our dedicated faculty who love teaching, to our researchers who know what a rewarding and impactful educational experience it is for you to be involved in research, to our staff all across campus who can't wait to welcome you and help you succeed, our newest members of the Bronco family. Boise State is truly a special place, and I'm delighted that you've chosen to join us this evening. I'm going to hand it back to Dr. Webb now so you can get your questions answered.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So some of the best insights come from students, and it's my pleasure to invite our current and future student body presidents, Kayla Magana and Kenny Houston, to share their perspective as well as their hopes for the future. Take it away, you two.
Thank you, Leslie. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us here today. My name is Kayla Magana, and I'm the current student body president here at Boise State. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Rupert, Idaho, and I'm currently a sophomore majoring in molecular biology with a chemistry minor. Growing up, I always knew I wanted to go to college, and when I began my search for my ideal college, I looked into factors like location, cost, and opportunity. And Boise State really encompassed everything I was looking for in a college, with numerous majors and minors to choose from and over 200 student organizations to join. The possibilities here are endless. Along with opportunity, we have amazing faculty and staff that are here to support you along the way. From the very first time I toured Boise State, I knew this was the place for me. I instantly fell in love with the campus and the community and all that they had to offer. Along with the vibrant campus life, there is so much to do here. Boise has activities all year round, whether it be floating the river in the summer or hitting the slopes in the winter. My whole experience has been nothing but amazing here. From all the places I've been, the opportunities I've had, and to the amazing friends I've made, I wouldn't change it for the world. Choosing Boise State is by far one of the best choices I have ever made. Regardless of COVID guidelines and some virtual formats for classes, I still have had an amazing experience and have learned so much. Come give campus a tour, and I promise you, you'll love it just as much as I do. Thank you. Take care, and as always, go Broncos.
Good evening. My name is Kenneth Houston. I use he, him pronouns, and I major in environmental studies with minors in economics, sustainability, and climate studies with a certificate in human rights. Recently, I was admitted to the accelerated master's program in public administration. All that said, I came to Boise State 3 years ago and never want to leave. My first year was a lot of fun. I became involved in the executive team for our student section for athletic events, which is called the Corral, and quickly made a new group of friends. My second year, I joined a fraternity, was hired as a resident assistant, and as a student employee in the office of the Dean of Students. Now in my third year, I've served as ethics officer in student government and was recently elected to the office of student body president. In my time at Boise State, one thing has become abundantly clear to me. Every last person on this campus is dedicated to us, the students. I have yet to encounter a faculty member, staff member, or administrator who has made a change on campus without first asking, how will this impact students? I came to Boise State looking for community, not just a place to get my degree. I was looking for outdoor recreation and culture, learning through hands-on experience, not from lectures or a computer screen. These are all things I have found in Boise State and couldn't be happier for taking this leap. Whether you already consider yourself a Bronco or are still deciding, welcome to Boise State, and as always, go Broncos.
Thank you so much, Kayla and Kenny. We're so proud of the way our students have stepped up this year to keep our community safe, to support each other, build community, and make connections in new ways. So folks, tonight we'll address various areas of the university: academics, student and campus life, our public health and safety strategies, housing and residence life. So first up, please welcome Dr. Tony Rourke.
Thank you so much, Leslie, and good evening, everyone. As Leslie said, my name is Tony, and I serve as the Interim Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. I'm going to provide you with some information this evening about the academic experience this fall. I am really proud to share how well we've done delivering high-quality academic experience this past year, while also keeping students and faculty safe, with no documented cases of classroom transmission and low campus infection rates. You know, it's interesting. We had an event just like this about a year ago, and at that time, it was a very different situation. We have lots of reasons to be optimistic about the upcoming fall semester, which will look much more like our pre-pandemic experience for students and faculty. What do I mean by that? This fall, we'll be operating at 80% of our typical capacity for in-person instruction, with 83% of those seats being fully in-person classes, and the remainder being a hybrid or blend of in-person and virtual class meetings. We consider fall 2021 a transitional semester, where we'll retain some of our increased capacity in synchronous and asynchronous classes from this academic year to provide additional flexibility and to follow the current CDC guidelines for 3 feet of physical distancing in classrooms. This allows us to accommodate significantly more students in person while retaining a high level of public health controls. I should also add that when considering which courses to host in person, we've prioritized first-year students, as we know how important connection making is when getting started at the university. Please note that we will still be requiring masks at all times when in classrooms and in other indoor public spaces this fall. On the online side of the instructional equation, we've made significant investments of human and financial resources to enhance our capabilities, investing over $2.5 million in infrastructure and professional development. Nearly 200 of our classrooms have been significantly enhanced to fully leverage a hybrid classroom so that classes can be recorded or broadcast live from the smallest to the largest of classrooms. They all have cameras that track the movement of the professor and can zoom in and focus on specific items. They have document cameras that can be used for whiteboards, to focus on artwork, demonstrations, or other course materials. They all have wireless microphones that allow the instructor to be clearly heard while moving. We've also worked with 20 of these classrooms to take it a step further. These rooms have been outfitted with microphones to capture all of the comments of the students who are there in person, so those who are online can fully collaborate with those who are in the physical classroom. I'm really impressed by the way our faculty stepped up to prepare for this academic year. We had over 750 faculty members engaged in professional development last summer, investing over 16,000 person hours in workshops and classes to prepare their individual courses for multimodal delivery. I'm incredibly proud of how student-focused our faculty have been throughout the challenges of COVID. And now we're crafting a new version of the plan for next year using everything we've learned. Although it seems unlikely at this date, it's worth noting that if we ever need to shift courses back to all online delivery in response to an infection spike, we're absolutely positioned to do that. In fact, we can do that overnight if necessary, and it will not disrupt the learning experience for our students. Of course, with vaccines rolling out and our low case rates on campus, we don't expect that's going to happen. However, in the event that we need to target a particular classroom or building for temporary closure, or if a student or faculty member falls ill, we'll be prepared to deal with that. And now for a more general point about preparedness, what is bound to happen, even if it's not COVID, is seasonal flu, cold, stomach bugs, all of those unpleasant things that can disrupt our routines. I can tell you that if an instructor falls ill, the department will back up that instructor so students don't fall behind. If a student falls ill, then of course we will accommodate that student in whatever way is necessary to the best of our ability. And the fact that we're prepared to deliver all of our classes this fall in an online or remote format We will be able to put those measures in place for more targeted purposes as well. And if a student is so ill that they're unable to complete their class, we have the ability to assign a grade of I for incomplete, which holds a place on their transcript for a year's time to allow them to complete that work. Now, with slightly more of our classes being delivered in an online format than is typical, we sometimes get the question about whether tuition is affected or whether it would change if classes start in person and shift online. That's a fair question, and the answer to that is that tuition does not change in response to a transition from in-person to online instruction. I'd be remiss in not letting you know that Boise State is a top 10 university in the Western United States for online education. We've been doing this for a long time, and we really know what we're doing. Our online classes and programs are subject to the same accreditation standards as all of our other classes and programs, so there's no distinction in academic standards. In fact, we have additional quality matters and peer review processes in place for online classes, so they're subject to extra scrutiny and support. I've been at Boise State for 20 years, and I can tell you that we've built out significant infrastructure and robust faculty development processes over that time, and we get better every year. Finally, my last point. Some families have asked whether our plan this fall is any different once we get to Thanksgiving break. The simple answer to that question is no. At this time, it's our intention to operate in the mode I've just described and to remain fully open for the entire semester. It's been my pleasure to share these updates with you, and we can't wait for you to join Bronco Nation this fall. It's now my pleasure to hand it off to someone who knows a lot about Bronco spirit, Boise State University's Athletic Director, Jeremiah Dickey, who has a special message for our incoming class.
Future Broncos, my name is Jeremiah Dickey, Athletic Director at Boise State University. I can't tell you how excited I am that you will be joining Bronco Nation. I was first drawn to Boise State because of its success in athletics and, of course, this world-famous blue turf. But this is also an elite academic institution, one that I know you will be proud to attend. My hope is that when you graduate from here and you put that diploma on your wall, you are also proud to point to it and show people where you went to school. And while you're here, part of our mission in athletics is to provide you with opportunities to engage with your fellow students as you cheer on your Broncos. Our 18 athletic programs, several of which are among the nation's elite, host nearly 100 events a year, and we're excited to be able to enhance your college experience. From our nearly 400 student athletes, more than 100 staff members, we are excited you chose Boise State, and we cannot wait to see you here in the stands. Go Broncos!
Thanks, Jeremiah. We cannot wait to get the student corral back into the stands cheering on our teams. So folks, as you can see, we are full speed in motion preparing for this fall. And what we're preparing for is a year of yes. And are we going to be welcoming students back to campus to live on campus in our residence halls? Yes. And we will have a number of beds set aside for quarantine should they be needed. Are we bringing back athletic events and hosting popular events our student organizations put on? Yes. And you can expect they will still keep your safety a high priority by requiring masks be worn indoors and making sure there's more distance between people. So is fall of 2021 going to look and feel more like Boise State did prior to the pandemic? Yes. And you can expect that we will leverage everything we've learned during the past year to create meaningful events and build community with both virtual and in-person options. So I'd like to talk a little bit about student and campus life. I'm going to try my best to give you a short version on what it's going to be like in the fall. We're excited to see an increase in activity on campus that just adds to the energy we love about being on our college campus. But I think it's important for me to mention this. The degree to which we are open and the types of activities we offer and how they're offered largely depend on how many in our community get vaccinated. We will be strongly encouraging that for our entire campus community. So We're going to approach next year with the same Bronco creativity, innovation, and goal of providing our students as much value and opportunities as we can fit into your first year with us. Staples of student life on campus will be open. The library, the rec center, the student union, residence life, our living and learning programs, which connect our faculty and residents together, dining services, and the list goes on. Student involvement and leadership center, academic advising and career services, Bronco Fit, the outdoor program, service learning, all open and waiting for you. You can look forward to all the events we'll offer during Bronco Welcome in August, all semester long, including homecoming. So some of these might require small tweaks to ensure we're keeping with CDC guidelines, but there will be endless opportunities for you to engage in person and virtually with each other. You'll be invited to join us in exploring the beautiful outdoors, hiking, rock climbing, whitewater kayaking. Student organizations will be active, and there are well over 200, as Kayla mentioned, from which to choose. We still might have to adjust a little bit about how we're having meetings happen to ensure social distancing and keeping the health and safety always at the forefront. Sororities and fraternities. I know some of you have been asking about this. Yes, they will continue to serve the community, engaging in philanthropic activities, doing virtual, hybrid, and in-person activities as well. We expect sorority and fraternity recruitment to happen, planned carefully, again, to ensure the health and safety of our community. And of course, all of our students have the opportunity to serve the community through alternative breaks and service programs. There will be job opportunities for students across campus, and let's not forget why we're here. We're here to help you gather the knowledge, the skills, the disposition, and turn all of that into a compelling story for an employer, a graduate school committee, the Peace Corps. And maybe your students, maybe you students, will have a few extra minutes in your schedule. If so, you can invest in your future through experiential education and learning opportunities like service learning, volunteering in our community, joining a club, or participating in an internship or a special program called Work You, where you essentially engage in a local business and then you unpack your experience in the classroom. You also have an opportunity to connect with Boise State alumni to learn more about their career paths and get career and life advice through our Bronco Link program, which is an electronic connection platform. Across campus, you will find so many opportunities to meet people, to try new things, to expand your horizons, and ultimately grow as individuals. So let's talk about dining. We will continue to offer you the all-you-care-to-eat facility with stations like Salad Bar, The Grill, home-style around-the-world concepts, Bronco famous breakfast burritos made by Carol, who is a local celebrity, here to our students. Special event nights, executive brunches on Sundays. The menus offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and other special diets. And we actually have a nutritionist here to help you navigate the options. Gloved, masked staff, of course, will plate our food. Utensils are prepackaged. All of the safety things you can imagine will be in place. Lines will be queued with social distancing, pre-order app, and there will be a lot of to-go options at all of our locations. Our most popular retail locations will be open, like Panda Express, Starbucks, and local favorites like Paddles Up Pokey. And my favorite weekly treat is to visit our local campus food trucks. You'll be able to use Bronco Bucks and Flex Dollars at all locations. And if you haven't already, check out Campus Dish for meal plans, more options, and hours. So now let's talk about living on campus. Some of you are wondering if there is still availability for on-campus housing for the fall, and the answer is yes. The best way to ensure you get on-campus housing is to fill out your intent to enroll form as soon as possible, followed by your housing application. Your intent to enroll form, followed by your housing application. So important, I had to say it twice. Students who've already applied for housing can expect to learn which building or community they're assigned to in about a week. You live on campus, you eat on campus, and this is one of the best ways to meet and connect with others. Before we know it, the U-Hauls will start rolling in for move-in days. Move-in is August 18th and 19th, and students will be able to bring up to 2 guests with them and can bring 2 cars, including their own, for move-in. We'll be facilitating a slower and physically distant experience with multiple move-in days to ensure your safety and well-being. Safety measures in housing will include wearing masks outside of private spaces, physical distancing to the fullest extent possible, and some restrictions on guests. And we will have students living in double occupancy rooms. We've designed a network of support for you. And for those who end up finding that they must self-isolate and or quarantine, this includes nursing staff, counseling staff, health and wellness initiatives to support students, academic advising, campus recreation, and peer support as well. We will check in on our students. We see how they're doing and make sure that they're able to continue to succeed and thrive as a student, even if they need to self-isolate. And so while this is extremely unlikely, you've asked, and I want to share, if we were forced to completely close the residence halls and students are asked to return home, we will determine decisions on prorated funding with our State Board of Education. A serious shift like that would be made with the best information available at that time and with the input of state and local health officials. So let's talk a little bit more about our public health strategies. Please join me in welcoming Vice President Esty.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Webb. My name is Alicia Esty, and I'm the President's Chief of Staff and the Vice President for University Affairs. I oversee the university's public health department, including the clinical and public health staff who run the university's COVID testing center, lab, vaccine clinic, isolation hall, and contact tracing program. In addition, I chair the university's reintegration committee, which is responsible for ensuring our safe return to pre-pandemic operations. The first topic I'd like to cover with you this evening is the COVID vaccine. At this time, we are encouraging but not requiring students to get vaccinated. Beyond the numerous public health benefits of being vaccinated, students who are fully vaccinated and asymptomatic will not be required to participate in return to campus, pre-event, or random sample COVID testing, and will not have to quarantine upon exposure to an infected person. In other words, students who are vaccinated will enjoy a more typical college experience than those who aren't. With on-campus COVID testing and vaccination clinics, our students have easy access to both testing and the vaccine. The university will host an on-campus mass vaccination clinic the week before school begins, so students who haven't been vaccinated have that opportunity. The university also has an on-campus testing center that provides saliva-based PCR testing with same-day results. Both services are free to students. Students who test positive for COVID will be required to isolate. Students living in residence halls may isolate at home if they live close by, otherwise will be temporarily relocated to our isolation suites, where they are cared for by nursing staff, have access to dining services, and receive academic and wellness support from our Office of the Dean of Students staff. Students living off campus and isolating in place also have access to academic support services. Students in close contact with an infected individual will be contacted by one of the university's contact tracers, who will assist the student in determining whether their exposure requires them to quarantine. Boise State has successfully managed COVID infection rates this year by using a number of public health strategies, including masking, distancing, contact tracing, testing, isolation, quarantine, and most recently, vaccinations. When you join us this fall, there will be a wide variety of hygiene measures still in place, some very obvious, including enhanced cleaning and disinfecting, and some less obvious, like enhanced air exchange and filtration. As more students are vaccinated, We will continue to assess distancing, masking, and testing requirements. In summary, like you, we are excited about fall semester and look forward to resuming pre-pandemic activities while recognizing that we're still in an uncertain time and can't predict with certainty how this will evolve. For the most up-to-date information about the university's response to COVID, I encourage you to visit our COVID website at the address listed on your screen. I will now turn you back over to Dr. Webb.
Thank you so much. I'd like to again invite our president, Dr. Marlene Tromp, to share some thoughts with you.
Thank you, Leslie. As you've heard, we're committed to the success of every student. And one of the ways we do that is through our culture of innovation. We call it blue turf thinking. It's about breaking from the trammels of the past, from how it's always been done, and doing things differently and better than they've been done before. You will benefit from that innovative thinking as a student when you go on the job market as a graduate. We have been described as the #4 public university on the rise in the entire nation. You're going to earn a degree that will have a powerfully positive impact on your life and the lives of those around you. And learning to innovate and lead is going to position you to be a tremendous asset to your community, your state, and your nation, not to mention preparing you for a rewarding career. I am confident that you will enjoy your Bronco experience. It's such a pleasure to be with you tonight. We care so deeply about our students and our community, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this is an extraordinary experience for you. In fact, the challenges our community has faced in the past year have taught us to be even more resilient and creative in service to our students. I'm so excited that you could be here today. And as everyone says, go Broncos.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tromp. Folks, before we close tonight, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the grace that you're sharing with us. Thank you for your patience as we navigate the complexities of what we're facing and what we're going to face together as a Bronco community. Remember, our doors are both physically and virtually open. If you haven't taken a campus tour in person on our beautiful campus, we encourage you to come see us. Visit the Boise State admissions website to see your options. Maybe you've submitted your intent to enroll and you've already received information about your summer orientation, but you've still got questions. Don't hesitate to reach out to new student programs to chat about your next steps. We so look forward to seeing you this fall. Thank you so much. And I echo, go Broncos.